Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. So basically, May 27th, we have a fight. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you take the time to hit the like button, smash the like button, also subscribe to the channel. And I'm back with my segment, Ego Weight Watchers, aka ILL. Now, as we encroach the May 27th date, I'm getting really excited. I dropped a video, 6 things Kell Brook can do to beat Errol Spence Jr. And I will drop the Errol Spence Jr. 6 things he can do to beat Kell Brook. It's part of my Boxing Ego Weapons series, where I just kind of play trainer and give my thoughts on what each fighter can do, you know what I mean, just being objective and using what they have, maybe even what they don't have, what they need to have for this fight, that kind of thing. So check that out, it's on the channel. But I'm looking forward to this fight, man. Ego Weight Watchers, where I give you a look into the fighter's lifestyle, before, after progress pictures, especially when there's a fight coming up. And I'm gonna just go out and say it. Kell Brook might be the biggest current welterweight. Like, Errol Spence looks a little bit taller, definitely in shape, definitely muscular, vascular, but mass wise, Kell Brook looks huge. Pause. Yeah, you know what I mean? He looks big. And you'll see in this monster gallery, you'll see all these current pictures. And one of the big questions was, he fought Golovkin, which was a freak show type of fight. It happened out of nowhere. He was supposed to be fighting Jesse Vargas to defend his challenge. People were good with that fight, and that fell apart. Vargas went on to lose to Pacquiao. Then Chris Eubank was supposed to fight Gennady Golovkin. That Chris Eubank Jr. Let me correct that. And that fight fell apart. And then all of a sudden, Eddie Hearn got on the phone or Skype or whatever he did with Kell Brook and was talking to him about it. And Kell Brook said, "I'll take that deal," that Chris Eubank Jr. and his dad refused. And then we got Golovkin versus Brook, which was kind of a mismatch, you know what I mean? Like, you don't just move. Weight classes exist for a reason, and although Kell Brook is highly skilled, he was still the smaller man. Golovkin has skills too, especially offensively. And to just jump up actual middleweights, at the time we're struggling to take Golovkin's power, so just to think you're going to jump up 2 weight classes and go the distance, you know what I mean, it didn't look likely, and it wasn't likely. You could say whatever you want, oh, it was his eye didn't hold up, but facts are facts, and the fact of the matter is his eye didn't hold up, his body didn't hold up to being punched by a big puncher 2 weight classes higher, who happens to be one of the biggest punchers in the division. And I say one because there's a lot. I think Jermall Charlo has good power. I mean, we haven't seen him at 160, but Daniel Jacobs, David Lemieux. But Golovkin is clearly up there, top 3 in terms of the biggest punchers. I personally think David Lemieux has the most power per capita, but Golovkin obviously has power and technique. So that was kind of a foolish fight. He did it, and that was the big question. What would Kell Brook look like coming back down? And then there was rumors that were circulating that he may not even come back to defend his welterweight belt. He may just end up giving it up and moving to 154. He did the right thing by coming back to welterweight. Nobody told him to go up to middleweight. That's something he chose to do, and he had business at welterweight. So, you know what I mean? It's like the old saying goes, you made your bed, now lie in it. You make those choices to radically move up, then you gotta deal with the consequences. But you had no problem fighting any other mandatory. Don't stop now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I can't make the weight, it's too hard now. Like, maybe you shouldn't move it up to middleweight for a cool $5 million or whatever you got in that particular fight. So that was the big question and concern amongst boxing fans, is after gaining so much weight to fight at middleweight. See, and this is the thing. We try to tell people Golovkin is naturally bigger. I could see it. I could see it when they're next to each other. I could see the width, the back size, you know what I mean? Just everything about him. The head.
Golovkin's head looked bigger. You know what I mean? Kell Brook's in shape. He's big. He's massive. I mean, you see the pictures. He's massive at welterweight. But the fact is, he was still making it at that point. You know what I mean? He was still making the weight. Golovkin can't make welterweight because he's too big. The dude's like 5'10" and a half. He would look like skeletal remains if he tried to make welterweight. So that's the fact of the matter is, even though Kell Brook is a big welterweight, his body, his age, his body is still able to produce results so he can fight, and not only fight but win at welterweight. He's undefeated at welterweight. He was getting stoppages at welterweight. You know what I mean? Minus Sean Porter, but he stopped Sinchenko, Jojo Dan, Kevin Bezier, Frankie Gavin. And I'm not saying they're the top class or top shelf boxer world beaters, but he was still able to perform. It wasn't like he was gassed out after 2 rounds or he couldn't take punches and had no punch resistancy, stuff like that. So that was the big question, and it looks like he's on his way to making it, but he looks big. He looks huge, and Errol Spence Jr. has to be ready. Now, obviously, there's tons of fighters like Tim Bradley. The muscles don't win you fights. You know what I mean? He looked bigger than Pacquiao at the weigh-ins and stuff, but I thought he lost all 3 of the Pacquiao fights. You know what I mean? The first one was closer than people thought, but I thought Pacquiao edged it with his flurries, even though he didn't look great in it. But obviously muscles don't win you fights. Kell Brook is going in there with the killer who's confident, and the body can be deceiving in terms of boxing. Reason I say that is because you can look like you're in damn good shape, but depending on what you do and how you flex your body and how you got there, how you arrived at that, you might be tapped. Like, you know what I mean? For a perfect example, a recent example, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he looked like he was in good shape, maybe career best shape. He was lean, but I seen him look way worse at other weigh-ins. Like, obviously his face looked skinny, but he didn't look drawn out. He didn't look super ghastly, and his performance versus Canelo was terrible. It was flat, you know what I mean? And I'm not using that as an excuse. Canelo is a talented fighter, but obviously weight has an effect on the human body, and I think it's a culmination of what Chavez Jr. failed to do in training camps and situations before that fight, ballooning up in weight, not managing his weight, and then now at a later age, a more advanced age, like, you know what I mean, he's whatever age he is, 30, he had to try to come back down to a weight that he hadn't had to make since 2012, right? So his situation a little bit different because he had fought at as high as like light heavyweight and had trouble making that, and he hadn't fought in that weight class for years, you know what I'm saying? So Kell Brook's a little bit luckier because I think he's probably younger than Chavez Jr., maybe the same age, I don't know. And he hasn't done that. Like, I see him balloon up in his off season, but he hasn't. It's not like it's been since 2014 that he's had to make welterweight. He just made it. You know what I mean? Who was it? Kevin Bezier. So that wasn't too long ago. So he still has a shot. But the human body could be, in boxing, it could be a little bit deceptive, because just because someone's in shape, that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to perform and go all the rounds, especially when they're in there with somebody like Errol Spence Jr. or anybody who's top class, you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to it. May 27th, all eyes on this particular fight. Very good fight. It looks like Kell Brook got down to the weight. Did he do it safely? How much effect will it have in him? Will he fatigue? Will he be able to absorb body shots? We don't know, but the best thing for fans is when the fighter at least appears to be taking the fight serious, and it looks like they're appearing to be in shape. So, you know what I mean? That's all we can ask for, that he's taking it serious and that he makes weight and he's a professional through in and throughout. And I'm really looking forward to this fight. Kell Brook is definitely a massive welterweight. Errol Spence, if let's say Kell Brook looks like the regular Kell Brook that he's always looked like, right? Then Errol Spence has to fight a smart fight, because Kell Brook has the accuracy, right? He has accuracy, he has power, he's a good boxer, he's slicker than people give him credit. I wouldn't say he's like Erislandy Lara slick, because, you know what I mean, because I don't think he's as his fighting style is not like Lada's, but he's slick. He has good upper body movement and different shades. Like you could tell he's been around like the Prince Nassim Hamed's and, you know what I mean, training in that gym and stuff, because he probably has more tools than he's had to show in some previous fights, right? He had to show him versus Golovkin, because Golovkin, after he had that round 2, Golovkin was trying to take his head off, and some of those shots were just barely missing Kell Brook. So he's lucky he had that solid defense to evade Golovkin, who's kind of slow, but he was really trying to take Brook's head off. So I'm looking forward to this fight. Ego Weight Watchers, I had to do an updated video. Kell Brook looks in terrific shape, and this will clearly be the best person Errol Spence has fought as a pro, and he looks to be in shape. He has tools to offset what Errol Spence does well, and Errol Spence has tools to offset what he does well. That's why we want to see this fight. May 27th on Showtime in the UK. It's on Sky Sports. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.